Do you have lots of random stale pieces of bread that you don't want to eat? Perfect! That is great for making bread pudding. So that's what we're gonna make today. I'm gonna bake mine into little ramekins, but you can also do a larger size in like a cake pan or a loaf pan. It's just will probably take longer to bake. But it's fairly simple, so we're gonna get started. In a large bowl, you're gonna mix all your bread in here, so make sure it's large enough to hold the bread. You're gonna add 1 cup of milk and half a cup of cream. If you don't have cream, you can definitely just use all milk. I just have some cream I need to use up, and it'll make it even more delicious. Then I've got 1/3 of a cup of sugar. We'll add a little pinch of salt. I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Feel free to leave this out. You can also replace it with other spices if you want. And then I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We just wanna stir that together with a little whisk until it's mixed in. And then for the bread, I just measured out, I'm doing 4 ramekins. So I just chopped up all the spare bread I had. You want it to be as dried out as possible. If you need to, you can toss it in the oven for a minute or two. Even if it's like hard and crunchy, that's perfect. It'll just soak up more custard. So I just measured those into my ramekins and tried to fill up 4 of them. It was all the bread I had. I would say it's probably about, like, volume-wise, a liter's worth of bread, but not sure. Okay. To this, I'm gonna add 3 eggs. If you have a lot of egg yolks too, you can also substitute those in just to get rid of them. 1 egg is about 3 egg yolks, so this is a good way to use those up. Perfect. So once our eggs are mixed in there, we're gonna toss all the bread in, and then we'll let it sit for like 15-20 minutes just so it gets all soaked into the center of the bread cubes. And my bread cubes, I just cut up to about like 1/2 inch size chunks, but really it doesn't matter, whatever size you can get. So here's my breadcrumbs, in they go. Oh, don't forget this one. There, so I just lightly toss them, then let them sit for 20 minutes or so. It's been about 20 minutes and our bread has soaked up a lot of this custard. Depending on the type of bread you use, it might look more soaked up, it might look less soaked up. It still works great. We're gonna pour any extra custard on top of our bread cubes in the container anyways, so don't worry. And you can use any kind of bread. I've used white bread, I've used banana bread, I even used croissants, which was super good. Oh, donuts, imagine that. I haven't tried that, but I want to, but I usually eat all the donuts, so I never have leftovers. Amazing, okay. So I've got 4 ramekins. I've just greased them with a little baking spray, and then I'm just gonna scoop my batter into that. So you wanna start with kind of the bread cubes, and then if there's any custard left at the bottom, we'll just pour it on top and it will fill in the gaps. So I'll just get that scooped in there, and then we'll pop it in the oven. So all of our bread and any leftover custard is kind of evenly distributed into our ramekins. I'm just gonna place them into a larger pan because we're gonna do a water bath. So I've boiled some water on the side, and we're gonna pop this into the oven and then fill it about halfway up our ramekins with the boiling water. And this is gonna help us more gently cook the custard so it doesn't kind of separate and get gross. So we'll head over to the oven. So I have our tray here in the oven, and I've got a kettle full of boiling water. So I'm just gonna fill it up. It's easier to do this in the oven just because you don't have to try to carry a tray full of boiling water around. So we're just filling it up halfway. That looks great. And then I'm gonna pop this into the oven. Probably will take about 45 minutes, but we'll check it as it goes. While our bread puddings are baking, we're gonna get started on a delicious caramel topping. It's the easiest caramel sauce you can make. It's so good. and super quick. So all you need to do is 1/4 cup of butter, 2/3 of a cup brown sugar, and then 1/2 cup of whipping cream. And you just want to bring this up to a boil. That's it. We're gonna add in a little liqueur because why not? And there will be a rum caramel sauce in my case, but you can definitely just eat it as is. So I'll get this boiled up and show you what it looks like. So our mixture for our caramels come up to a boil here. Just looks bubbly, and that's it. Just bring it up to a boil. Like I mentioned, I was gonna make mine a rum caramel, so I've got 1 teaspoon of dark rum here. Just gonna toss that in, and then I'm just gonna put this off to the side until my bread puddings are ready, and then I'm gonna pour it all over them. So our delicious bread puddings are all baked. I just pulled the whole tray out of the oven, and then you want to, using tongs or oven mitts, just be careful because the water is really hot. You'll want to remove all these from your tray, and then you can let them cool, or you can just dig on into them. And how you know if it's baked is when you press on it, you'll see these little bits of custards peeking out. They won't be liquidy, so they're all set up nicely in there. They're still soft, but it doesn't look like liquid how we had it before. Yum. So these are all ready to go. You can just pour your caramel sauce on top. So delicious. If you don't eat them all, just keep them in the fridge and then maybe warm it up in the oven for a few minutes before you dig in. Well, thanks for joining me today. I had so much fun and I'm super excited to eat these. I will see you guys tomorrow.